Hi guys, welcome to Cat Harmon Yoga. I'm so super grateful that you are here today. This is going to be a part of our beginner yoga series. So if you're brand new to yoga or getting back into it, these videos are going to be fantastic for you. So we're going to begin this yoga practice in an easy seated position. So find a crisscross applesauce legs here. You can always sit on a yoga block or a pillow if you have at home, if this is quite uncomfortable for you. So before we get started with any of the yoga stuff, one of the things that I teach in all of my classes is to listen to your body. So no matter what I'm guiding you through, if something becomes super painful or it's just not quite working for you, back out of it, find another variation, take a break, breathe, anything to pause other than pushing through it, okay? So that being said, if you're in this seated position here and you're not comfortable, then find a chair. There is no wrong way to do your yoga practice other than not listening to your body. Right on. So as we land and however you're seated, bring your palms down to your knees, reach the crown of your head up to the sky, and just close your eyes for a moment. Start to scan through the body and notice how you feel right now. And there's no wrong way to feel. Just breathe and scan. If you're noticing that there's a little bit of tightness somewhere, find some ease and relax deeper into this space. Releasing through the jaw, the forehead, the shoulders. And then we will move into an Ujjayi Breath here in this seated position. And if you've never heard of that, I'll walk you through it. You're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose with a slight constriction at the back of the throat. So it's going to feel like you're trying to fog a window up with your mouth closed. So you'll breathe in. Taking about 5 more of these breaths, really trying to slow down the inhale, slow down the exhale. And what this is doing is it's bringing us into this present moment. It's letting everything else fall away so that you can be in your body right now. Let the stress of the day, let all your worries just melt off of you. Last big breath here. Make it the longest one you can. And you can begin to open your eyes once again. You may notice that you feel more relaxed already. That breath, that Ujjayi breath, you can take anywhere in the world. So practice that often and it will start to become a habit for you. Now we'll move into child's pose, which is how you would start most of your yoga classes. I won't say most, some of your yoga classes. So this position can be kind of funky for some. So what we're going to do is slide the legs around to the side, come up onto our hands, bring your big toes to touch, and then start to open your knees out wide as you can, bringing the hips back towards the heels, and then walk the hands out towards your mat. So if we're here, that's a lot of pressure on our chest and shoulders. If we can bring the hips back, maybe our child's pose is a little lifted. You can always use a pillow or your block to support your chest here so that you can actually relax in these muscles. Or maybe you have the space to come all the way down flat to the earth. So wherever you've landed here, take a second, check in, because there's going to be a loud sensation happening if you've never done this before. There's going to be a place in your body that's going to be like, what are we doing? So come back to that same breath that we just did, that Ujjayi breath. Big full inhale through the nose. Long, slow exhale out of the nose with that slight constriction at the back of the throat. Visualize the low back releasing here, opening up here. I'm going to keep my head up so I can continue to talk to you, but you can release your head down to the mat. You can even rest it on a block or a blanket. If you're noticing some deep sensation on your knees, you can always place a blanket underneath your knees in your child's pose. So we don't ever want to be in a painful space. Slow the breath here. Try to let the shoulders relax. Try to let the jaw relax. Just continuing to remind yourself that you are in control here, right? You can be panicked or you can be easy, right? Last breath in this child's pose, just opening up those hips, that low back area. This can alleviate some low back pain. And then inhale begins to bring us up nice and tall into a tabletop. Pretty much exactly what it looks like, right? We're stacking on all fours. Another great place to place a blanket underneath your knees. You don't want to be uncomfortable here so you can't focus on the actual posture. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Wrists are right underneath the shoulders. Knees are right underneath the hips, so everything's nice and in a line here. We'll move through some cats and cows. This is how we begin to warm our spine up for class. Lift your belly button away from the ground. Inhale, start to peel the chest forward. Exhale, start to curl up and in. Pull the belly, drop the chin, drop the head. Inhale, begin to lengthen forward, and it's a long line in the spine. So not cranking and being short, it's long. Exhale, curl up and in, chin to chest. We got 3 more rounds here. Inhale begins to lift us up. Exhale curls us up and in. We're really engaging that low belly. Relax the neck. 2 more. Warming up those shoulders. Relax the head. Let it fall heavy. Last one here. And we'll come back into that neutral tabletop space. Hopefully you're starting to feel a little bit of heat building into your belly. The next posture that we're going to move to is called downward facing dog. I'm sure you've heard of it before. Hands are going to be shoulder distance apart. Tuck the toes and you move from like a plank position. So if we're from modified plank or full plank here, either one, this is where your hands and feet are going to stay as we lift those hips up to the sky, melting the chest back and down. Avoid walking your feet in to get into this place, so that's why we come from this plank and lift the hips up. As we melt the chest back and down, we're pushing our head through our arms. Knees can be bent here, heels can be lifted. This is a lot of pressure on your shoulders. Lift your belly, shift your hips back. Come back down to your knees and your tabletop for a moment. Sit back on top of your heels if that's comfortable for you. If not, just come up for a second. Interlace your fingers. Do some circles here. So if that down dog and tabletop are starting to give your wrist a little bit of issues, make sure you're pressing into your fingertips as well as the palm of your hand. So the base of the wrist isn't taking the brunt of the work, right? So we're going to go back into this downward facing dog. And after that, I'll show you a modification if down dog is just not working today, okay? So we'll find our downward facing dog, lift those hips up and back, melting the chest back and down. Start to bend one knee a little bit deeper than the other and reach that opposite heel towards your mat. Woo! Stretch out the backs of those legs. Keep sending energy up and back to those hips. Switch sides, bend the other knee. Woo! Let's do one more round just like that. Bend. And switch. Coming back into our tabletop. Untuck those toes. Come back seated or lifted, right? You can be lifted off the knees if this is too tight. Interlace those fingers. Give them a little wiggle. So So one of the things that I want you to be aware of is that when you're in these postures, especially if you're a beginner, right? That's what we're working on today. If you're in these postures, that you're not worrying about so much what it looks like and worrying about what it feels like to you. So if you're constantly trying to be deeper in a posture than your body is ready for, then you're putting your nervous system into a fight or flight mode. So it's not going to respond the way that you want it to respond. It's going to take longer to get where you want to get to find that ease, to find that relief in your body. So when we move back, quickly, let me give you the modification. So if down dog is just too much on the wrists and the shoulders right now, I'm going to show you the tabletop variation to stretch out. So you just extend one leg out and press back through that heel. And I'm lifting that belly so I can start to build that strength to hold me in downward facing dog. And you would do the other side as well. As we come back into our tabletop, we're going to lift downward facing dog, final round. Lift those hips up and back. Melt the chest back and down. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale it out of the mouth. Inhale lifts you up onto your tippy toes. Slowly walk up to the top of your mat. As you're doing it, lift your belly button to your spine. Relax your head down. Knees can be really bent here. Really, really bent. Don't try to lock them out and keep your body up tight. Okay? So bend the knees. Let the low back get the relief here. Yoga blocks are a fantastic prop, but you can always use a big pillow or a book even, something to stack. You can even use a chair. So I'm going to use my block today to demo a forward fold for you. So knees are always bent for me when I start because my hamstrings are not warm enough and I don't want to scare them in this practice. Drop the head. Let it be really, really heavy here. Use your core for your balance. You're pulling up through the belly so that the knees can be soft, the head can be soft, the arms can be soft if they're on your block. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. All right. Last one. Deep breath in. The next thing that we're going to do is called halfway lift and lengthen. This is a core strengthener. So you're going to start to lift your back. Again, knees don't have to be straight here, but get the tailbone in line with the crown of the head. Hands can press into your shins or they can still be on your block. Shoulders are back. Neck is long. You're lifting up through this belly, engaging obviously through the back muscles. And then pick up all 10 toes, feel your legs get really strong. Hold that strength and let the toes come back down to the ground. Exhale, fold. Let's let all of that go. Bend your knees. Use your props if you need to. Relax your head. Let's do another one of those. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Shoulders back, belly in. Exhale, fold. Remember, your knees do not have to be straight in these folds, guys. It's all about opening up the whole back side of the body. So if we lock out the hamstrings and we can't get the relief yet, if you're way up here because you've locked them out, you're missing out on all this stretch. So soften the knees and give yourself a chance to open up that low back. Next inhale, we're going to rise up to a tall mountain. So take your time. Engage the belly. Inhale is going to sweep our hands to the sky. This is tall mountain pose, right? So you feel super strong here. Feet are grounded down into this space. I don't even know if you can see my hands, but your hands are high to the sky. And we're going to bring them down to heart center, pressing the palms to touch. Feel all four corners of each foot on the ground here. So notice if you kind of dump weight into one side of the body, try to be super balanced through both legs. Lift through the belly, pull back through the shoulders, shine the crown of the head to the sky. Next inhale, we'll sweep our hands back to the sky, lift up, look up. This is tall mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. So bend the knees, start to drop the head, relax it down. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, and we're going to do all that again. Inhale, rise up, tall mountain. This is how we bring it into a flow. Tall mountain lift. Exhale, fold, empty your breath, drop the head. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. So this time we're going to catch a ragdoll arm bind. You grab opposite elbows, make a little picture frame for your head, and relax down. So here's where you can tell if your knees are too straight, right? If you can bend them a little bit so that you can really relax the chest down, relax the crown of the head down. We got 4 breaths. Draw your attention to that deepest space of resistance. Take a full inhale and hold that breath at the top. Exhale, release it out and soften where you can. Big full breath in. Let it go. Last one. Release that neck. Inhale, halfway lifts us. Exhale, fold, and we're going to palm the mat. Make your way back to a plank or a modified plank. Take your time. There's never a rush through your transition, right? So high plank or modified plank here. The next step that we're going to work through is called a Chaturanga. If you've never done one, please do it from the modified variation first. I do not want you to hurt your shoulders. I like to tuck my toes. It gives me a little more sense of engaging that lowest part of my belly, and I'm picking it away from the ground. Press into all the fingertips here. Shift your weight forward slightly, and then we're going to lower halfway to a little 90-degree angle with our arms. That's our Chaturanga. I'm going to press back up for funsies, yeah, and then come back into that Chaturanga. Find that 90-degree angle. Don't go any further, and then release down to your belly. You can untuck the toes here. The next step we're going to take is called a Cobra Backbend. Our hands are right underneath our shoulders. Press into the tops of the feet. Peel your chest off of the mat as you scoop the belly up towards the spine. So we're not pushing here, if that makes sense. We're using our back muscles and strengthening our front core at the same time. Next, exhale is going to take us all the way back to a downward facing dog. So I like to go through my knees from here, tuck the toes, then lift the hips high to the sky. Take a big breath in through the nose, out of the mouth. Inhale, rise high up on the tippy toes. Slowly walk up to the top of your mat. Keeping those knees nice and bent, using your block if you need. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, drop your head. Inhale, rise up, tall mountain, lift the belly. Exhale, forward fold, empty the breath, belly to spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, palm the mat, make your way back to that plank or modified plank. Your exhale will lower you, Chaturanga, shift forward, lift up. Inhale, Cobra Backbend, lift the belly. Exhale, downward facing dog, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Big full breath in. Longer, slower breath out. Inhale, rise high up on the tippy toes. Slowly walk up to the top of your mat, forward fold. Last little standing stretch here. We're going to take a super deep bend in our knee, left knee. Right hand is going to reach to the sky. So we're opening up on the outside of this leg and into the low back. Breathing into that sensation there. Trying to think tailbone away from the crown of the head. Exhale is going to fold us, bend both knees, drop the top of the head down. Inhale, halfway lift, switch sides. Right knee bends, left hand lifts. Exhale, top, hand down, drop the head. Inhale, halfway lift, strengthening that core. Exhale, fold. Come to a deep bend in the knees. Go ahead and have a seat on your bum. Take your time getting there. I'm going to turn and face you. Moving into that same crisscross applesauce we started with. Nice and tall. We'll take some side body stretches here. One hand is going to come on the outside of our hip. Other arm is going to reach up and over, reaching to the top of the head. Take the chin down to the ground. Back to the sky. One more time, down to the ground. And back to the sky. As we come back into a neutral space for the neck, we'll inhale back through center. Engage the belly, lift up, switch over to the other side. Grow taller through the spine. Reach, lengthen, and extend. Find that edge of sensation. That's about as far as I can go. Now I'm going to breathe into that space. Chin comes down to the ground. Back up to the sky. Down to the ground. Back up to the sky. Woo! Bringing it back to center. Inhale lifts us up nice and tall. Then we'll start to make our way onto our backs. Planting the feet hips distance apart, reach the fingertips down towards the heels. We're moving into our back bend bridge pose. Press into the feet as you lift the hips to the sky, walking the shoulder blades together behind the back. Keep the neck nice and long by gently tilting the chin towards the chest. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. As you exhale, slowly come down to the ground, slow through that spine. Belly is pulling in, and then we land. Pause for a moment. Resist the urge to move. Relax your booty muscles. Relax your belly muscles. Relax your shoulder. And then gently windshield wiper the knees side to side. Moving into our inversion for today's practice, hip stand. Start to send those heels to the sky. Pull down through the belly. Open the shoulders out wide. Slow down the breath. Want to feel as if the low back is flattening out onto your mat. Knees can be bent here, but maybe flex the heels towards the sky. Relax and open up to the shoulders. Finding ease as we begin to wind down this practice today. Slowly start to bring the knees into the chest. Take your time. Pull them in. Give yourself a big hug for getting on your mat today. And then we'll move into our spinal twist. Knees are going to fall to the left. Arms open out wide. Take up space with your upper body. And relax here. Releasing through the low back, through the hip, through the shoulders. Knees will slowly come through center. Use your core as you move. And head all the way over to the other side. Arms open out wide. Take up space. Let yourself feel like you're just relaxing, open and down into your mat. Knees begin to come back to center. One more big squeeze, big hug. And then we'll release out into Shavasana, our final yoga posture for today. Shavasana can be on your back, your side, or your belly. You're just letting go of all your muscles, allowing your nervous system to reset and your body and your mind to rest and heal. So we'll close our eyes for about 1 minute here, just relaxing into this space, no forced breath. Relaxing, allowing the feet to feel heavy. Allowing the legs to feel heavy. Releasing the hips, the glutes. The low belly. Up into the shoulders, the arms. All the way up into the face, the jaw, the forehead. Relax. And then slowly beginning to come back to your breath by deepening the inhale and the exhale. Feeling some energy come back into the body. Maybe bring movement into the fingers and the toes, just slowly waking up. It may feel good to reach your arms overhead like you're waking up first thing in the morning. One big final stretch of practice. And then you can stay here or rock onto your favorite side. Take a moment. Close your eyes. Notice how you feel physically. Notice how you feel mentally and emotionally. And as you're noticing this stuff, notice it without judgment, just clear awareness, right? There's no wrong way to feel, there just is. So notice it. And as you're ready, we'll slowly make our way up into an easy seated position, right where we started this practice today. Hands are gonna come to heart center, closing out this practice in a seat of gratitude. Finding gratitude for this physical body and all the amazing things that it does every single day. Finding gratitude for the opportunity to practice yoga. Gratitude for the choice you chose to take care of yourself today. And we'll bring the thumbs up to the forehead, finding gratitude for one another. Namaste, friends. Namaste, guys. I hope that you feel good in your bodies and in your minds after this practice. And there will be more of this beginner series soon. But this one will be good to repeat so you can get familiar with how the posture feels in your body, how you need to modify, what props you need to use throughout your practice so that you can continue to get stronger and more flexible in your body and your mind. If you like this video, please click subscribe to the channel. Maybe click like on the video and share with anybody that you think could enjoy this practice. We also have live classes that we do via Zoom every week. And if you'd like to stay in touch with that, then head over to my Instagram page at Cat Harmon Yoga. Have a wonderful day.